Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. I'm going to start a project today which I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to be basically spiritualizing a guitar. Have a donor guitar, which I'm going to show you in a second. This is basically the process where I'm going to be taking an existing guitar and applying my spirit dance, I guess, sensibilities to it. So I'm going to strip it down, do some artwork on it, seal it, put some crystals on it, inlay them into the body, burn the body and stuff like that. So let me show you the guitar. It's pretty cool. Ta-da! Check this out, check this out, check this out. This is a Chapman Guitars ML1 Monkey Lord approved guitar. I've wanted to get one of these for a while. I've actually had this for about 4 or 5 months actually. It's been in my studio. I've been meaning to do this project for a while, but just workload and stuff, I haven't been able to get to it. I'm really excited about doing it. Now, I found this guitar on eBay and I loved the color, the finish. It's already been worked on. This is obviously not a stock model. This is one of the old models. Has some of these, I can't remember who makes these pickups. I'll put the description down there. But these are cool aluminum pickups. Lace sensor. Is it lace? I think lace makes them. I think. So I'm going to be doing a couple things to this. I'm first of all going to be stripping it down. Just need the body for the time being because I am going to do some artwork right here. And I'm probably going to be replacing all the electronics inside with the Mad Hatter Terminator system, which I have in my Kypro, which is just awesome. I love the sound that gives. Also, just doing some work to the neck. I've actually done a little bit of work to the neck. I've shaped it down. It's a different profile from the stock ML1 neck. I'm going to do some work to the headstock, put some locking tuners on it. The bridge is going to change. I'm going to put a 2-point tremolo on there, and it's going to be pretty cool. And I want to share with you. Yeah. So I am going to show you the process that I go through to make this into a spiritualized guitar. So first thing I'm going to do is strip it down. I'm going to head to my workshop and do that right now. And by the way, look, I've got my serious hairstyle on today. Yeah, because I'm working. I'll see you down there. Alright, I'm in my cabin now. I've got the guitar. I'm just going to strip it of all the parts, take everything off, take the pickups off. Just need the body and then I'm going to sand it down. It's been oiled and it's been beautifully oiled, but I really need a slightly rough surface in order to do the artwork to make sure that it actually stays on. So I'm going to do that first. And yeah, then I'll get to work with the artwork on the body. I'll plan that all out and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So the neck has already been shaved down. When I got the guitar, the neck was this comfortable C profile, but I wanted it a little thinner, so I flattened it at the back and reprofiled it. It feels great now. So I'm going to put that on once all of the work's done, and I'm going to do some work to the neck as well, so I'm going to strip this down in a second also. Really good Wilkinson bridge on these with this huge steel block on them. It's a great bridge, but I want a 2-point bridge on this, so I'm going to replace this with a 2-point and one in black as well. Yeah, make it really rock and roll. Check out the wiring loom in here. It's pretty complicated. Where it looks complicated, it's probably pretty simple, but there are a lot of wires in here. These pickups are so cool. I actually wanted to try out a set of these, and then when this guitar came up and it had these pickups on it, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I want to check out the pickups, and they're pretty cool actually. But you'll get to hear them after I finish working with the guitar. And there you go, body is stripped. It's taken me all of about 15 minutes to take all the parts off. I've obviously done it before. If you're doing it for the first time, just take a little bit more time to do it so that you don't damage anything. I wasn't too fussed about it because I'm going to sand the body down anyway and then do some work to it. So now that the body's done, I'm just going to take the hardware off the headstock as well, off the neck, so that this is prepped for when I need to do some work on that as well. And there you go, all done. Took me about 5 or 6 minutes to do. I've obviously got all of the power tools to do this really quickly, but if you're using hand tools, just be careful. Take your time over it so that you don't end up damaging finishes and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and sand down the body just a little bit, and the headstock I'll do a little bit later. I'm not going to do that right now. I have some cool plans for this, but not just yet. I'm going to focus on the body right now. Got my orbital sander, got my safety equipment as well, a face mask and my goggles. Also use these things, and gloves as well, because we're guitar players, you know, we don't want to get sick and injure our hands and stuff, you know, so use safety equipment when you're doing stuff like this. Alright, I'm not going to take too much finish off. The pad on my orbital sander is, you know, is used. It's not too rough. I don't want to kind of just strip it completely down because I like the finish on this. I just want to take it down a little bit so that the oil comes off a little bit off the surface, so that when I do the artwork, it actually sticks to the surface. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And there you go, the top is done. This is ready. I just need to kind of wipe it down with a little bit of water, and this will be ready for artwork. Should do just fine. I'm going to do the back as well. It does have Dave Hollingworth's autograph on the back. The guy who owned this before me had got this done. I'm going to have to take this off. I'll just have to get him to sign it again sometime. But I'm going to do the same to the back, just to prep it for what I need to do to the back, which is going to be blowtorch. Yeah! And that's it, the back is done as well. Didn't take long to do. I'm going to quickly do the sides, and then this will be ready to take inside and do some artwork. Okay, the body's ready to work on. It's on my drawing board here, and the artwork is going to be influenced by Indian mythology. So this is the inspiration. It's an image of the Hindu deity Hanuman, who was the king of the monkeys, hence the Monkey Lord connection, etc, etc. So as soon as I thought, well, what graphics shall I do on the guitar, it was basically this. So it was influenced by this image, which I'm gonna kind of just use as a template and then do my own thing. And also this book by Vamsi Jaluri, which I read recently. I bought this when I was in India a couple months ago. Fantastic book. So the artwork is influenced by that, and I've transferred just a very, very rough outline onto the guitar itself. That's where it's going to be. And I'm going to get on with the job of actually creating the artwork with some colored pastel pencils. This is going to be so much fun. So I'm going to be working with these wonderful Selenia oil pastels. First time I'm using them. They're really gorgeous. They cost a bit, but they're really good. And these pastel pencils as well for all the fine detailing. The guitar body's ready, and I am going to start doing the artwork. Alright, I'm ready to start, so I'm just going to do some outlining first, just so that I know where I need to do blocks of color and things like that. And just doing that with this pastel pencil. So this will just give me some rough guidance as to where details go and things like that. I might fill in just things like the eye, and the nostril, and just the mouth, because they're going to be central to the look of the face. So as I go along, I'm going to be building the color up. So just some like small layers, light layers. Just gives a real nice subtle finish to it. Whenever I need detail, I can pick up the pencils. And I end with the pencils. The grain of the wood is really helping as well, because it kind of accents certain shadows and highlights certain areas and things like that. Just getting some basic skin tones down at the moment. These pastels are such a pleasure to work with. Pencils to add in some detail when I need it. Just want to kind of bring out some of these little details. I like to put a lot of detail into my artwork, so I kind of focus on these little things, like just putting tiny little hair details in, which makes everything look really great. Hey, and it's Sammy Cat. Sammy's come to see the artwork. Yeah, meow. What's he doing, Sam? Yeah. So just wanted to show you progress. It's coming on really well. The colours are looking really vibrant on here. So I'm going to do a little bit more and then carry on tomorrow or in a couple of days' time. Time for some guitar burning. So the artwork's done on the guitar. and I'm going to start burning it, but I'm going to do it very, very subtly, mainly on the horns of the guitar and coming from this side, coming over. I use this mini blowtorch, which I find very, very easy to control, and I have an even smaller blowtorch which I use for fine work as well. So I'm going to show you that process of how I do it. So I want the burning to be quite subtle and basically going in this direction from the horns towards the front of the guitar body, and I'm not going to do too much because I want to preserve the artwork. And then I'm going to seal the guitar. I'm going to do the front and the back, which is why I've put this piece of wood on, because the oil pastels are still quite soft. They will smudge if I kind of put my fingers on them, so I don't want to flip the guitar around. I'm going to hang it up and then do the back and sides. So the idea of the burning is just to bring out some of the colour of the wood. It's not to completely obliterate or just destroy the wood. So I'm quite subtle when I use this. I don't use it at a massively high heat. I keep the flame and the control about halfway on my blowtorch here, so that it's not too powerful flame. I'm going to do the back now. There you go, the back is all done. This is one of the reasons I love working with swamp ash, because you can really get the striations in the wood to pop out with the burning, as long as you do it subtly and carefully. And it creates this beautiful, beautiful finish, which I just adore. Next task is going to be to inlay these crystals. I'm only using 4 crystals on this guitar, and they're basically just going to go on the top horn like that. I just thought they looked really subtle like that, and adding anything more I think it would just be a little too much, especially with all the beautiful artwork and stuff, so I don't want to overcrowd the guitar with too many crystals. So I'm just going to trace around these with a pencil. Then I have my multi-tool there and a variety of cutters so that I can route out into the guitar body so that these crystals slot in nicely. Then I'm going to use some epoxy, 2-part epoxy, to stick the crystals in. Using power tools, so safety gear on again, just to make sure nothing gets in my eyes, which it has done one time, and that wasn't a pleasant experience because I had to go to the hospital and actually have a like a splinter or a bit of rust taken out of my eye. So I'm not going to risk that again. And gloves as well. So I have my multi-tool and a bit in there, just a large bit at the moment. Then I can switch to a smaller bit when I need to do some more subtle work. So just make sure it works, which it does. So I'm just going to route out these holes first and then inlay the crystals. Also, I've covered up the artwork so that it doesn't get spoiled while I'm actually doing this, because I may need to lean on the guitar body. So here we go, let's do the first one. So I'll keep checking that the crystal fits until I get the depth that I require. I've got quite a big crystal, so I'm going to need to route pretty deep, and I'm just making some markings as to where I need to go a little deeper now. Now this is also a process that you want to take your time over. No point rushing, because once you've routed, that's it. There's no going back. Alright, that's seated nicely, so I just need to do a little bit more at the back here. So I'm going to use my pencil just to mark out what I need to do. Also, I've had plenty of experience of using one of these to route out guitars. I even used this on my Bones guitar. Well, I actually bent for the first one out, so I had to buy a new one for that guitar. So if you're doing this for the first time, practice on a blank piece of wood before actually approaching a guitar. Alright, that's seated really nicely. There's still a little bit more to do. Brilliant, that's beautiful. I love the fit of that, that's fitting really nicely. So first crystal is done, yay! So the cavity for this is done. Ooh. So I use the blowtorch just to clean up the edges and just to darken them a little bit, and that really seats the crystals beautifully. Alright, on to number 2. Alright, I'm about to finish the final one. Just a couple of tiny little adjustments to this route and it's going to be done. And there you go, it's fitting in really beautifully there. Alright, let's just color it on. And that's all 4 cavities routed, and a little bit burning just to clean up the edges and also add a little bit of color. Next job is going to be to stick the crystals in with some epoxy. And there you go, all 4 epoxied in, and the guitar body is ready for just a quick seal coat just on the artwork. I'm just going to put it over this area, not where the crystals are right now, simply because this artwork is very, very delicate and I don't want anything to happen to it. It's looking good. And there you go, just a couple of very, very light seal coats at the moment, just to make sure that the artwork stays in shape just like it is. And I'll do the rest once the crystals have dried. So I'm just going to let this dry for about 24 hours now. Body's done, it's lacquered up, it's dried, and it looks great. There's a sheen to it. I haven't polished it up yet, still just hanging there. I'm gonna basically kind of just polish it up once it's done, and that'll be pretty much finished. I'm going to do some stuff to the back of the guitar as well, which I shall show you also. But first, I'm going to work on the neck. I have a plan for the headstock. So the headstock has this Chapman logo in it, and rather than just leaving it as a plain logo like this, I just had this idea of actually carving that out into the wood, because then I'm going to sand this back, put some burning on it, etc. I'm also going to reshape the headstock just a little bit, just to give it that spirit dance touch, just a scoop down here. So I'm going to get on with that. First thing I'm going to do is carve out this logo. That's going to be cool. So to do this, I'm going to use this tiny little chisel. It has a V-shaped groove in the front there, and that's going to work really nicely to shape up that logo. But before I do that, I'm going to use just a craft knife to actually just score out the logo a little bit, so that the chisel has almost like a guide rail to follow when it's doing it, just so that I get a little bit more accuracy. So I still have some curves around here which I need to do, but I'll do that when I swing the neck around. I don't really want to kind of be holding the chisel this way and kind of, you know, slip or anything. There you go, it's done. Slipped in a couple of places, but I'm going to sand all of this down and then do some burning and stuff on the headstock, so it's going to look absolutely amazing. And if you can see there, the grooves are V-shaped, so it's catching the light in a beautiful way, which is exactly what I wanted. So there you go, that's done. I'm just going to sand it down and start reshaping the headstock in a bit as well. And the final stage of the head, I've gone ahead and put the little Spirit Dance scoop in there, and it's looking pretty good now. So that's the headstock pretty much done. Alright, so the headstock is all carved up. There you go, we've got the logo on there and the little scoop. And I'm going to do some blowtorch work on this to give it the colour now. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how I do that. Now, one of the keys to getting a really good colour is just going slowly and, you know, not kind of just incinerating the whole piece of wood. So I use this blowtorch like I did on the body, but I'm just going to do it really subtly. So here goes. There you go, all done. The burning's all done and it looks awesome. This is going to look really good once I lacquer it up. One of the things I always do with Spirit Dance guitars is write something on the back right here, just above where the trem cavity is. And I've got some writing which I've done just to describe Hanuman, and I'm going to do it in this silver pen, which is going to look very, very cool on this body. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and make it look really, really nice and artistic. And then I'm going to maybe do some carving, maybe not, I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm definitely going to put the writing on. So I'm going to do that right now. There you go, done. I'm going to sign it while I'm at it, and I shall date it later. And there you go, it's all done. For part of the build, I'm going to be installing one of these Wilkinson VS50 MK2 bridge to the guitar, basically. So I'm not going to put the 5-point bridge back on. I'm basically going to have to measure out for a 2-point bridge, and then drill some holes and install the posts so that this is going to sit nice and square and the strings aren't going to fall off the fretboard. So I'm going to measure up first. To do that, I'm going to put the guitar, well, the neck and the body back together first, and then put the tuners on, put a couple of strings on, just both of the E strings, and make sure that when I mark out the holes for the pivot posts, it's in exactly the right place so that the strings are actually sitting really nicely on the fretboard as well. So I'm also going to be installing these locking tuners on the headstock of the guitar. I wanted to switch them over to locking because I prefer to use these with my Wilkinson, and just much easier to do the string changes and stuff. So I'm going to install all these first and then put the neck onto the body. Okay, so measuring up the bridge just to make sure that the poles are aligned, and because this guitar had a Wilkinson bridge in it anyway, there are these 5 holes. It was a 5-point bridge, and just checking the VS50 MK2, the top hole and the bottom hole are exactly aligned, which is just awesome. I've had to modify the holes previously because they didn't align properly, and I've put a couple of strings on here. This is just how I do it. This is how I do the alignment, just the check, just to make sure everything is lined up okay, so that strings don't fall off the fretboard and things like that. And the alignment is really good. It's perfect on the fretboard. So I'm gonna just drill out these 2 holes, the one at the top and the one at the bottom, and then install the posts which are going to hold the bridge into place. I'm also going to replace the standard block with a brass block that I have, which is this. And I have a guy in the UK, a guy called Penn. He's awesome, and he makes me these as a custom build for the Wilkinson bridges that I use. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. First thing I'm going to do is put the posts in, and then I'll change out the sustain block on the Wilkinson, and then start installing everything. I'll need to do the electronics first, and then install the hardware, etc. Alright, the post inserts are all done, so the post will screw straight into there, and the bridge is going to work a treat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to polish up the body a little bit, and a little bit on the headstock as well, and then I'll start assembly. So I'll put the electronics back in, etc, etc. So one final thing I'm going to do to the headstock is put the Spirit Dance logo on the side of the headstock like that, just so that it's on there, just to indicate it has been spiritualized. Alright, so I've just replaced the sustain block with this brass block, which looks great. I've actually had it angled as well, so that the bridge actually has a little bit more travel. So that's all done. I'm going to put the saddles back on. And there you go, it's all done. This is ready to go onto the guitar. Yay! So I've installed the pickups on the guitar body and the wires are down here. So I'm going to go ahead and wire this guitar up. Then I'll be ready to put some strings on and have a listen to how it sounds. This looks so cool, man. Alright, it's all done, so I'm just going to put the back plate back on and then do a quick setup and hopefully it'll all work. Alright, she's all done. I'm going to take it into the house and plug it in and check it all works. Like I said, I've only got a 3-way switch on this at the moment, but I'm going to get a rotary switch to put there so that I can have more pickup options. So let's check this very, very cool looking guitar out. And here she is in all her glory, the Chapman ML1 Hanuman. Just this is such a stunning guitar. I've been playing it and playing it and playing it. The artwork came out fantastically well. Really pleased with the overall look and the feel. The neck feels great, especially after shaving it down and setting it up and stuff. Love that headstock. And I had a couple of cats who know just a little bit about Chapman guitars check this guitar out and have a little bit of tinker. So check it out.
Wow. Oh, that is sick. Oh, man. Dude, it's insane. That is ridiculous. Oh, the back! Jesus. That is. 1 minute after it's lovely.
I've only very quickly set it up. It still needs a little bit of this. They're alumitone pickups, the lace alumitone.
They're like the lace sensor type.
Right.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So what stones have you got in there then?
That is actually a piece of meteorite.
Yeah.
And that's hawk eye.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the name of that one. But
it feels very.
I did the Monkey
Like
Lord
I've played
thing.
it before though.
Right.
Oh, this is the Monkey Lord.
Yeah. That's Hanuman. That's the Hindu.
If Rob sees this, he'll probably cry.
I'm going to send him a picture, but you got to see it first.
Yeah, man, that's amazing.
I did the Spirit Dance logo on the headstock at the.
That's very tasty. And I'm just going to read this real quick.
Sure.
He's love, he's peace, he's devotion, he's strength, he is protection. Yeah, man, that is properly deep. I really, really like that.
Wow. Oh mate, that's absolutely amazing. How long did it take you?
That build was a couple of weeks, a few weeks to do. I actually filmed the whole process.
Oh, it smells of incense.
Saged it this
You
morning.
saged it this morning.
I'd forgotten to do it and I was like, oh, I need to sage it.
It's absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
Did you relic the tuners?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. The bridge as well, it's slightly kind of beat up and stuff. So. How cool was that, eh? They loved it. And you know what? I understand why, because I adore this guitar. I have been playing it and playing it and playing it. Just feels great. It plays really nice. It sounds fantastic. I'm going to show you a little track that I did with it in a second, which you're really going to enjoy. Have the 5-way rotary switch on it now, which is the pickup selector, and this works really well, kind of PRS styling. It just made more sense for me to do a push-pull on the tone, which gives me coil splits on all 3 pickups. The pickups, they really do give me such a wide variety of sounds. So when I did the track, I was able to get all sorts of, humbucker and single coily type sounds. Bridge, the Wilkinson VS50 Mark II. I love this bridge. I put it on my Spirit Dance guitars, and it's really made a difference in terms of just feel and stuff. It feels so familiar to my hands because I've been playing them for years. Love the headstock. It just so rocks. So there you go, guys. That is it's my Chapman ML1 Hanuman custom spiritualized. Check it out. Spirit Dance guitars. Spiritualized guitar. Now I can do this for other guitars as well. So if you are interested, please do send me an email. You can check them out on spiritdanceguitars.com or leave a message and we can get in touch. I do the conversion for around £1,500 UK pounds. So just to give you an idea of what I charge to do one of these. But this one's staying with me for the time being, and I'm going to be really enjoying playing it and doing some videos for you guys of this guitar. In the meantime, here's something that was a lot of fun to do and put together for you guys and this video. Enjoy the track. You may recognize it. See if you do. See you soon for another video, guys. See you later.